Hey everyone, Sam here from Sugar Spun Run, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make homemade popovers. So this is a recipe that my mom has been making since I was a very small child. They're sort of a unique dish or baked good, and they're very similar to Yorkshire pudding if you've ever had that. They're very basic, very simple to make, and they're also fun because they pop over and look kind of crazy as they bake in the oven. Now that oven you're going to want to get preheating to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. It can take a while for a lot of ovens to reach that temperature, and it is very important that your oven be at that temperature. That way you get that rise and that popping over that you want for this recipe. Next, grab yourself a large mixing bowl, and we are going to crack 6 large eggs in here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to beat these eggs until they have lightened in color and they're nice and frothy. You can do this by hand, it's a little bit of an arm workout. I'm going to be using an electric mixer. Some people also make this recipe by tossing all of the ingredients together in a blender. That's just not my preference. All right, so I've been mixing this for a couple minutes on low, medium, low speed. The color has lightened some and it's nice and frothy, so we can add our next ingredient. And the next thing you'll need is 2 cups of whole milk. I'm just going to pour this in while I'm stirring everything together. And then we're going to add our butter. I have 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter that I went ahead and melted, but it is a little cold in here today, so let me make sure that hasn't completely re-solidified. I think we're all right. I'm going to go ahead and pour this in while mixing as well. You guys know the drill. We do not waste butter around here, so that is all going in that bowl. And there's no sugar in today's recipe. They're not sweetened. They are, like I said, they're not really like anything else that I've shared. If you've had them before, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and you probably love that unsweetened and eggy texture, which might sound weird. But one thing I love to do after baking these is I'll drizzle them with a little bit of butter and add a little cinnamon and sugar. It tastes like French toast. It's so good. All right, next we are going to grab ourselves a teaspoon of table salt. Just sprinkle that over the batter. And we also have 2 cups of all-purpose flour here, and we are going to stir this in as well. Let's go ahead and I do this a little bit gradually. Don't add it all at once. All right, just a quick stir or scrape of the sides of the bowl because I want to make sure all of that flour is worked in. None of it is sitting on the bottom. Looks pretty good. All right, looking good. Done with our mixer. That's really all there is to making this batter. I do want to give you just a peek at it so you know what to expect. The batter is going to be really thin and watery. That's normal. That's what you're looking for. And you also might notice some lumps in there. You shouldn't have any large lumps, but small lumps of flour, that's actually fine. Don't worry about it. I always worry if my mixture is not totally uniform, so I just don't want you to worry in your own kitchen. And hopefully you can see there's just little bits of flour. That's okay. All right, batter's ready. Let's talk our baking pans. So ideally for this recipe, you would use a popover pan. This is the one I use. I really like it. This recipe is going to make 12 popovers, so you should ideally have 2 of these. I'll try to remember to link to this one in the recipe description. Just remind me if I forget, because I do forget. All right, however, if you don't have a popover pan, for literally years, decades, my mom used to just make these in a regular muffin tin. I will provide baking instructions for both of these in the description. And just know that you'll get 12 traditional sized popovers, but if you're using a muffin tin, you're going to get about 18 to 24 popovers instead. Now, I've already gone and greased the wells of these pans. I greased them with butter, and I greased the whole well, the bottom and the sides, but you could also brush them with a little bit of oil instead. Another thing to know about popovers is notoriously that grease or butter that you used can spill out the sides of the pan and spill onto your oven, and then you have a smoky mess. It's just one of the hazards of making popovers, but we are going to prevent that problem by baking these on a foil-lined baking sheet. So we're just going to take the pan, pop it on here. So that way, if any spilling occurs, your pan's gonna catch it. You can toss the foil. No cleaning out your oven, which does anybody wanna do that? A lot of you have seen the inside of my oven. I don't do it that often. We're going to fill these cavities about 2/3 to 3/4 of the way full. Since the batter is so thin, it does get a little bit messy. I like to use an ice cream scoop to make it a little bit easier. Ah! And sometimes I just completely make a mess anyway. It's okay, we've got the pan underneath. I don't even know what happened there. Just really bad hand-eye coordination. So when these things come out of the oven, they're going to look absolutely crazy. They're going to be super tall. But because of this, it's important that you don't place them on a rack that's too high in your oven, and you don't have a rack in your oven above your center rack that's too close, because they're going to like poof up to here. So you don't want there to be anything above them that they can hit. All right, our muffin tin is going to go in our 450-degree Fahrenheit oven for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we're not opening the oven door. We're just going to drop the temperature down to 325 degrees and bake another 10 to 15 minutes. For the popover pan, the instructions are pretty much the same, but I always do need to bake for the full 15 minutes the second time around. However, I have an exceptionally light popover pan. This is the only one I've ever seen that's really this light in color. Usually they're darker. So I actually start at 25 minutes on 450 and then bake another 15 from 325. First up, we have our muffin tin ones. And you're going to notice these start shrinking pretty much right away. That's normal. It's not something I personally care about. However, one thing you can do if you want to inhibit the shrinking a little bit is you can pierce them in the center, just slit them with a knife right in the center, and then you can pop them back in the oven again for another 5 to 10 minutes. That's going to help let some of the steam escape and help with some of this, but again, it's not something that I worry about. All right, I told you these things look ridiculous. They are really good, really simple. You can eat them plain. Just be aware they are not super flavorful. What I like to do is I like to add butter, and like I said, a little cinnamon and sugar makes them taste a lot like French toast. I always enjoy them while they're still warm. I recommend you do the same thing, and these never last in our house, but I will include some instructions on how to quickly reheat them in the description. All right, I hope everyone enjoyed this recipe. It's just one that's such a staple in my household, I really thought that I should share. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. All right, like I said, we eat these warm. Definitely burned my tongue on them a couple times. The texture, they should be that nice yellow inside. Oh, these are so good. I'm gonna burn my tongue, but it'll be worth it. The texture is like hard to explain, but they're so good. Thank you. What do you want me to do with this?
I would see you, Mom. Look with it.
Work with it? Okay, I'll work with it. Thanks, baby. I'll keep it right here for work. Look at this egg. I just like it. I can't decide if the color is like ugly or not ugly, but I like it.